Kathy, I've always been fascinated at the interesting early jobs that actors have. Now, tell me about being a singing waitress in the
Oh,
Catskills.
yes, that was memorable. I lived in a trailer. Um, yeah, I was working down in Washington, D.C. At the Shakespeare Theater there. The Fort, it was not, that's not the it's the Folger Theater. I was working there in the 70s. And the guy who did the music for one of our shows was a piano player in Secaucus, New Jersey. And he had started a singing waitress waiter deal in one of the restaurants over there. They were very complimentary to the singing, but if the steak was bad, forget it. He went really quickly to their hit list. But it was fun. It was a wild summer.
I was reading about some of your early television credits, and one of the more interesting ones I saw was The Love Boat. Now, tell me what it was like to be on Lido deck with Gopher and the gang.
Well, that was fun for me. That was one of my first film jobs, and didn't know a thing about making movies or camera people. I worked with John Rubenstein on that, and in between shots that people were talking all the time, and I kept saying, what? And he said, they're not talking to you, dear. They're not talking to you. Nobody's talking to you. So it was a great kind of introduction to movies.
We did a story not too long ago about the adverse reactions that people who play villains get from people in public. After Misery came out, did you get any interesting reactions from some people when they saw you?
Well, they always did the ankle bit, They were always saying, watch your ankles, or they sort of make a motion with like had a golf club, but it was really a sledgehammer. So that gets old after a while. But that's usually what I get from people.
Well, Delores Claiborne is now your second opportunity to work on a Stephen King-based story. What kind of feedback did you get from him from the first film, and have you heard anything from him with the second movie now?
He hasn't seen this picture yet. I think he's going to see it soon. He was very happy with Annie Wilkes, and I'm glad, because even from coming from the theater, working with first-time writers, I was always very careful because I wanted them to like what was being done with their scripts. And so certainly with someone like Stephen King, I'm even doubly aware that I want him to be happy with it. I think he'll like this, though. I think he certainly likes the way Taylor and Tony decided to tell the story, because the book was written as a monologue. It was written as a confession, and the film, of course, is quite different, but it tells the same story in a very interesting way.
I know you filmed in a lot of interesting places. Filming in kind of an isolated part of Nova Scotia, what was it like for you, and how did the townspeople react to Hollywood basically coming into town?
Oh, it was great. It was like being part of a small town for a while. At one point, I got sick with pneumonia, and then I was only laid up for a few days, and I went back into town to go to the restaurant one night, and everywhere I went, people were out walking, how are you feeling? So it was great. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to go back.